luckily for me, I had a thirst for knowledge that I actually read a book or two outside of school and learned some things on my own, but a lot of people don't have that drive or even care to do that.
Right next to me if I need it. I'm at 77% right now.
Alright, we can kick it off, I guess. We can kick it, dude. Alright. Yo, Mage podcast here. It's the date is January 8th, I think, 2013. I got Burt here. My homie
hey, what's
Burt.
Up?
I hope you sound good. Damn, I'm trying to set up some new audio in here so it sounds clear, because this is actually via Skype for the people that are out there. The three people that are listening to this via Skype, and it's the first time at this format I've tried the Skype. So with my buddy Mr. Bandi, aka Burt Bandi, here in the house.
What's up?
We're gonna see how crystal clear this gets. So Burt's a buddy of mine who is a proud father, and it's one of those things like when your buddies have kids. I remember seeing his son when he was like really young, like weeks old or something like that.
Yeah, it's like 2 weeks.
Like, yeah, 2 weeks. And so to see him at different stages, I don't know, man. It's really crazy. It's awesome. It's one of the coolest things to see that. And I really, I don't know. Like, I guess I'm at that age now where I'm going to see that more and more. And then I'm going to turn out like Walter Matthau someday, like 30 years or 40 years in Grumpy Old Men, and just be... It won't even amuse me anymore. But right now, it's one of those things in life where you're like, "Oh my God, man, holy shit!" You know. I don't know.
The question is, when are you gonna have a kid?
Dude, I don't know. That's a great question, but it's so corny when your buddy with kids always asks you that, because that's like the start of that whole joke, man. When all your friends with kids are always just it's like a Seinfeld thing. There's like, "Oh, when are you having kids?" You know, like you bring in a girl or something, and you guys are married, but you don't want kids or something, and then everyone at the little parties like double dipping the chips, and they're saying like, "Oh, when are you gonna have kids?" But to be honest with you, I don't know. Like, I used to want kids when I was young because I saw everyone wanted kids, and then for a long time I just was for sure that I didn't want kids, and now I just don't know. I'm just completely. I'm agnostic about kids, man. I don't know. Like, I can't even assure myself that I'm gonna fix my boat by the spring, you know. So kids for me, I don't know.
I forgot that you got a boat. I forgot about that. It's just sitting in your garage.
It's actually at a family friend's garage with a lot of room to work on it. But I got like a professional mechanic who's gonna work for cash, I think, over this winter on it.
So wait. He's a family friend, so he's not your friend.
Well, he's a friend of one of my parents. Let's just put it that way.
Which parent?
So, one of my parents' friends has a garage where my boat's at, and so I'm lucky that I can have it in this big ass garage. So that's all I'm saying that. So it's a secret project. It's a 1986 Rinker, 170 horse. It's got some camshaft problems. The housing around the camshaft has to be sent out to a guy out in frickin' Leicester Prairie, New Germany, who works on camshafts. And I'm going to redo like some wiring, the steering wheel. I got some gauges that don't work. I got stuff like that, man. Once it's really functioning well again, I had 2 great weekends with it. And then the third weekend, I went down to Lake Minnetonka with it. And I had one guest with me, female type. And we were at the dock, and my boat was like just fine. It's like one of the worst days of my life, by the way, but it was a learning experience, and I didn't get too flustered. But my boat like was working or something, and then I didn't hit anything, but I was backing out, and then I don't know what happened. I was turning around, and then it just like killed, or the prop stopped working or something. So we started drifting to the weeds, and this like 12 or 14-year-old looking kid, but I assume he's probably like 15 or 16, was on a jet ski.
But he couldn't have been 13.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, so he was probably like 13 or whatever, and he was on his jet ski, and the dude was like, "I can't come over to the lily pads because this jet ski won't get in there." And, like, I didn't grow up with boats, but we had jet skis since I was, like, 8 years old. And so I was like, yeah, you're all right, man. Like, come up to the edge of the lily pads, and you can throw the rope 3 feet or whatever. And the girl I was with, a friend of mine, really, really nice, and was just so awesome. Like, just chill about the whole experience. Like, it could have been a lot of different people, guys or girls. It would have just been horrible. Because it was just a fail, epic fail, everything fail. So this kid's, like, throwing me the rope, but he can't throw it far enough. And finally he gets it, and he's pulling it. So as he's pulling us 20 yards back to the dock there, his dad's on the dock. Like, now he sees this situation, right? And the kid's like, I don't know, like, if this jet ski can pull it. And it's like a rental, or it's an old crab jet ski or something. And I'm like, dude, yeah, it can pull us. Like, we're trolling. All you gotta do is troll towards the dock. And he was, like, scared that it was gonna wreck the jet ski or something. So
wait, you had a girl with you and you were trolling?
Oh, shit. No, he was... like at an idle speed on the jet ski pulling us back towards the dock. Well, then his dad sees us and he's like, and the kid's like, I can't get you any closer. And we're still like 5 feet from the dock. Like I could jump, swim 5 feet and then get on the dock or then throw the rope, something. But his dad's like, man, you can bring him to the dock? What the hell's wrong with you? And he starts yelling at his kid because his kid is like this young punk, super young, like I said, and he wouldn't get me that close to the dock. And so... then his dad's like, you can do better than that, Jimmy or Johnny or whatever. And dude pulls us towards the dock. And as I'm about to jump on the dock, these waves take me away from the dock again. And the kid's gone. Like he's back on the other side of the dock or whatever. And so we're drifting away again. And I'm like, oh, shit. And so I jump in and nasty boat launch at the end of the dock there. And have to like get all nasty. Didn't want to do that. And get on there. And then friend had to throw the rope. And then basically, I could get this boring story way more boring. But basically, like my gearbox got this button stuck in it, and this gearbox like notorious for doing that, or like the throttle, you know. And so I need that replaced. I need to, because it's a hard shifting thing. And so,
wait. Sorry, I gotta stop you real quick. I don't know a lot about boats, but does the throttle have anything to do with the cam shaft?
Yeah, man, and you just hit the key point. You're like Alex Jones, dude. Basically, once that happened, I brought it to one of my parents' friends' places, and he and I were working on it. And
you were working on the shaft.
We weren't working the shaft yet. Nope.
No, okay.
We were working the cables, like the throttle. We were drinking beers and working the throttle. And so we took it apart. I think I had a picture on Facebook of this bad boy or something. And everything actually looked decent. And then we found some sheared metal in there, which is horrible. And we looked at every gear and everything, and we couldn't even find the origin of this like sheared pin or metal, which was really weird. But
so it sounds like something was grinding. You didn't have enough lubrication.
It was full of lubrication. The whole box was full of lubrication, but we couldn't figure out like where this sheared piece of metal that was in the box came from. I don't know, man, because that the thing is you highlighted the camshaft, and the shaft needs to be redone, re-eared, they call it.
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal, but
the shaft, yeah.
The same time, it's like a 1986 boat, and these engines. Here's the cool thing. What I found out is there's not a lot of like boat engines out there, engine makes and stuff. So dudes that have worked on them for a decade, they actually kind of know the ins and outs. Like the newer ones compared to mine have some more like smooth modifications and stuff.
Right.
Whereas mine, like for example, the camshaft housing is the seal that's bad, but in the newer ones, what I read is like then you wouldn't have to like send the cam out, which I don't get this completely because the cam shaft is going through the housing. Well, then I'm probably messing this up anyways, but you send it out, and my model has this shaft which is basically attached to the housing, and so they have to send you're laughing, I bet too, it sounds so funny, but they have to send the shaft out and have this guy re-knob it.
Okay.
Seriously, dude.
It sounds like a pain in the ass. Okay, so your boat.
Yo, that's the crazy thing is that stuff is like pretty much me describing what has to go down. It sounds so horrible, man.
So you have
like a dude in a Canadian tuxedo, like jean jacket on TV from the 80s, like explaining how to fix this engine on an instructional video or something.
So now you're going to have your mom's friend work on your boat shaft. That's what I gathered from the story. It's sometimes hard to follow,
no, I have to send the shaft out to some guy I never met before out west of the cities, like by where Dittmer's from, New Germany.
Oh, so just some random?
Well, he's like an expert. There's like no one that does what he does, I guess.
Okay.
So, but either way, that's why I'm not having kids, just because that's what we've been talking about this whole time. Is that's why I can't have kids right now. Because I can't even figure out how to take care of the shaft of my boat.
I thought you were gonna say because you'd be the dad yelling at little Jimmy, telling him he could get the jet ski closer to the dock. I thought that's where you're going with the story. I have a problem paying attention sometimes.
Yo, it's because I told the story like that, I think, and basically, I mean, you should have probably thought that about the story, because I realized I kind of stopped there, dude.
Started with all my friends are having kids bit, and you rolled it into your boat shaft.
That's
I thought
true.
that was a metaphor for, and then you're talking about the dad pulling the rope or telling his son to pull the rope closer to the dock. So that's why I thought you were going there. But
yeah.
We could just erase that and forget about that.
So you have a boat? Do you have a boat?
I don't have a boat.
Have you ever had one? Or did like anyone your family have one?
I had a canoe.
See, that's a boat. That's a boat.
It's a boat, yeah. I mean,
just because it doesn't have a broken camshaft.
Well, it didn't have any shafts.
Yeah, man.
I don't even know what a camshaft is, to be honest with you.
It's got like these nodes, and then it rotates the shaft, and so these little nodes hit basically like parts of your engine, and I think it's like basically what has to do with the cylinders. So it's when the cylinders go up and down, it's because the camshaft nodes are hitting them at a certain like frequency, because as it spins, it's an asymmetrical wobble. The shaft is.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Whatever, dude. It's some like complete stuff that we're gonna have. If anyone listens to this podcast, it's gonna be like 45-year-old dudes in rural lake areas probably. But I'm cool with that, actually. That's kind of diversifying the listeners, talking about shafts, boats.
If that's the target audience, I guess we can segue into the next thing.
Minnows.
We were talking about jet skis, and if I recall correctly, your father, Phil Major.
Yes.
He does tricks on jet skis, correct?
Actually, yeah. He basically, he's awesome. He goes in the St. Croix River on his stand-up jet ski, which is like it's only a couple years old now. It's probably 3-4 max, but when he bought it was like brand new. And he had like an 89 and like a 92 like stand-up jet ski, and we always had like a couple other ones, like a 2-seater, 3-seater. And those I usually drove like the 2-seater, and put the trim up and jump wakes. Got some decent air back in the day. Honestly, could have broke my teeth sometimes. I was like 6-8 feet out of the air, but. We go to St. Croix, and they got these boats that make a Minnetonka yacht look like a toy, because some of these boats are from Florida and Puerto Rico and Texas, and they sail all the way up. Swear to God, dude. Swear to God. A lot of Texas and like even like, you get like Missouri, because they go all the way up to the St. Croix. Because that's where, dude, think about this. I didn't even know
that was possible.
Yeah, think about this, bro. If you go to a map and you look at Louisiana, right?
Yeah.
There's a delta because of all the shit from the river, which deposits itself at the bottom. Right. So it's this massive splatter from the anus of the Mississippi River. Now, as you go up the river, it gets closer to the esophagus or the tributaries. And so basically, when you drop your jet ski in Prescott, Wisconsin, across the river,
just right by me.
It is. That's true. It's basically you go up, I don't know, a couple hundred yards, something like that, and you idle. And you're technically in the Mississippi. And then there's this diagonal line that you could probably see from Google Earth. And it's the St. Croix mixing with the Mississippi. And the St. Croix is blue and the Mississippi's brown, bro. It's crazy. It's like a night and day difference. So that's kind of the point. These boats come all the way up from wherever to them extremely narrow and extremely clean St. Croix, and then they go drink a bunch of Miller Lights and pass out in their yachts and stuff. And behind them, Phil Major.
There'd be dams all the way up the river.
Well, what did you say? You think there's dams?
No, yeah. I would just imagine.
Yeah,
that would be the case.
But that's why they have. That's why they have the North America lock and dam system, because there's a lock next to the dam. There's a dam lock next to the dam, and so
they have this all the way up until St. Cloud, and that's the only place that doesn't have them.
I am not positive, but I think that you can't go to St. Cloud. God, I could be wrong. Stillwater. Ugh. I don't know, bro.
Well, that's basically what I base everything off of in my world.
Wait, Stillwater? That's wrong. That's up to St. Croix. That was a horrible statement. That keeps going up to St. Croix. I'm thinking of the Mississippi, which now I'm confused. Maybe St. Cloud, dude.
Right, but I would think, why wouldn't St. Cloud have the North American lock and whatever the hell you called it? Lock and dam. Why wouldn't they have that?
Why wouldn't they have a lock and a dam?
Whatever you called that. What did you call it? The lock and...
Well, the lock and dam system of North America?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because once it reaches... Because, okay, first of all, like if you've been watching the news, which I claim to not watch, but I watch most of it on YouTube, just searching certain channels. But they have...
Right.
What? What's up?
Nothing.
Oh, all right.
I'm listening.
But there's been a drought, basically. And so what they're saying is that the river, by being low, what happens is constantly redepositing material at the bottom. So all these shipping vessels, which ship scrap metal and all this stuff, anything, fertilizer, salt, all that kind of stuff. Not usually rocks, I don't think at all, but like salt, fertilizer, chemicals. The river's like billions of dollars of industry, right? And so they have to what's called dredge, D-R-E-D-G-E, the river with massive excavators and stuff like that. And then they basically have to continue to make the river certain depths, and so they monitor it. And so as you go higher up the river, like Mississippi, you go up towards St. Cloud or something, it's not going to be as deep or wide. And so the higher you go up a river, the closer towards the tributaries, there's going to be less odds that there's a dam or a lock. Once you get small, they'll just keep building dams, but they won't build a lock, because a lock is a deal where you got to have employees, and it's got to be functioning machinery that can allow the boat to go from one side of the river to the other by making a seal, raising the water level or lowering it, and then the boat goes out the other side.
Right. Okay. Well, that makes sense. So basically what you're saying is that they just don't want to create any more jobs. Yeah, basically they should be building locks in every river constantly. They should definitely be doing that, dude. Well, fuck, I learned something. Well, wait, we can swear on this, correct? You can fucking swear, dude. All right. I just swear all the time, like in my daily life, so I try to, I don't know, maybe I don't. But, you get certain applications where you're trying to describe something, especially to somebody else who's like asking a question. And unless it's a passionate opinion argument, if you're trying to be factual, like, I don't know, I usually don't swear, I guess, when I'm trying to describe something factually. But if we're speaking about hilariousness or art or jokes or someone else doing something stupid, then I'd be like dropping all the fuck bombs and all that stuff. Hell yeah. I guess that's how I describe it. I guess I don't really know, but I don't know. Like, swearing's hilarious, man. When I lived in Ireland, man, we should just start swearing real quick here, because when I lived in Ireland, man,
everything was like feckin' this and feckin' that with F-E-C-K. And
they make it sound so much cooler, though.
Well, to us, they probably thought I sounded so cool. I'm telling you, they probably thought I was the coolest dude. No, I'm just kidding. But they say feck everything, right? And like for a dumb shit, you're a gobshite. You fucking gobshite. That's a horrible. I don't even try more than that to do an Irishman, and I wish I could. But awesome people. But they've used and abused the common curse words that don't signify. Well, maybe I'm getting too technical on this whole what's the significance, because that's dynamic.
No, the meaning to every
no, I will keep going. But what I meant was the meaning of every word is completely dynamic, meaning it's changing all the time. And so that's really what you're witnessing, like living in Ireland, because out there they say cunt all the time. Not as much as an Englishman, I would say, but in Ireland,
say it here it has.
Well, here I'd say the last 10 years it just got. I don't say it really like. I would say it before some other words, but anyways, in Ireland, the word fanny meant cunt.
So Fannie Mae?
Yeah, and like Fannie Farmer chocolates. And so I told them about Fannie Farmer chocolates one time to some older, like middle-aged people, just being like factual. And it was so harsh of a word to use, just so casually. It like you could see it in their face, like. If you dropped the N-bomb and you thought it was like a funny word or something like that, and you were at a party with people you didn't know or family members you didn't know that well or whatever. And so basically it went like this, like something with the word fanny, and then we're talking about it, and I was like, I can't believe the word fanny is so offensive. Like to us, it's a woman's name, and they were like, what? Like Grandma Fanny, or like Fanny is an old woman's name sometimes, And then I was like, actually. There's this brand called Fannie Farmer chocolates or whatever, and it was just like it was just like crickets.
Oh man!
And it was amazing for the fact that it exists here, and it does in other places. It's just so different. It's such a contrast.
Well, what is it with fag and like?
Oh, they say that in Ireland as much as England. Actually, I said that word all the time out there, fag.
Yeah, but is it like cigarette or something?
Yeah, just for cigarettes. In fact, I never ever heard it for another use, which is very significant, because it wasn't like they'd be like, you fucking faggot or something like that at a bar, like some fucking meathead high school kid like asserting his pseudo-manliness he's just gained. Out there, it was only fag, F-A-G, that's it. I never heard the full word or whatever. And it was only for cigarettes. And so any use, borrow a fag, get a fag, puff a fag, smoke a fag, like those are all extremely common uses out there. And chicks, hey, like in high school I said the word chicks so much more than I do now, which is probably a good thing. But in high school it was like, oh, we're going to some party. Oh man, you know what chicks are going to be there yet? Like it just like the casual way of just discussing females, and it was in our vernacular completely. But in Ireland, they say the same thing, but they say birds.
Bird.
I can't even pretend to do a. You sound like a German or not an Irish person or something.
Oh, you just say.
But yeah, it was like.
I told you I'd be back.
Hey, mate. That's Australian.
That's Australian, bro.
Yeah, dude, I can't.
They
say, hey, mate, though. They say, hey, mate, though. I can't even do it. I hope some of my Irish buddies listen to this be fucking offended. But,
was it like, I am from Scotland.
You fucking gobshite.
I can't do an Irish accent. I can do a Scottish.
Yeah, that accent is better than any accent that I could do. Like, I do that Pakistani accent at that joke of mine that I did at Harbor Bar. Did you see that one or no? Where I was like, I was talking about like the nuclear codes or whatever, the helpline, like how the U.S. sells its old technology to like other countries that are behind the times.
Okay,
it's like a nuclear reactor in Pakistan. The whole joke's like he basically calls the helpline, and then another fucking same voice guy answers, and he's calling India where the helpline's at. So he's like, and he's like, oh my god, it's going to blow. And then he calls, and he's like, fucking answer the phone. And the guy answers, he's like, hello, United States Nuclear Service, this is Bob, how may I help you?
And of course his name's Bob.
Yeah, and then I've thought like that joke. I've said it on stage at least once or twice, and once for sure in that long set of mine. And it's always done well. Everyone always likes it, but I always want to what they would call milk it, you know, like have something where they have a conversation and they find out like they're related, like the Pakistani guy knows like the Indian guy's family or something like that. But I think that could be really funny, but I just am not that creative or haven't been yet to figure that one out. So,
what do you call a guy from Pakistan who's been everywhere and seen?
His name's Who's Been Everywhere?
Who's been everywhere.
His name? That's his name?
No, who's been everywhere and done everything. Been there, done that.
That's so dumb, man. That's funny though.
So dumb.
I like that.
It's from a movie.
Oh,
so I can't.
Really? That. Oh man, I like that though. That's pretty cool. Have you seen that one where Robert De Niro, who after seeing him on set,
Bob De Niro.
Yeah, Burt Bandi De Niro. Robert De Niro, dude, when he was on Saturday Night Live and they did the he tries obviously to do comedy. And Robert De Niro, first of all, one of my favorite actors. Oh man, dude, you see him in what's that? Deer Hunter, he's in Heat, wasn't he? That was a great movie, but it wasn't on the caliber as Deer Hunter. But
Godfather. Casino.
What are you talking about?
We're talking about Bob De Niro, dude.
He was in The Godfather?
1 and 2, right?
He was?
Yeah, he's Vito Corleone.
Marlon Brando?
The young Vito Corleone.
Oh, dude. I'm embarrassed. That was just 2, I think.
Was it just 2? Maybe.
Yeah, I was stuck in 1. I think you're right, but it wasn't 1 at all. I think it was just 2. Unless
I'm fucking embarrassed now.
Well, we met halfway on that one.
I own the fucking
Unless you find out that I was completely wrong. I could be double wrong and just be trying to cover my ass. If he was the first one, I guess. I don't think he was in the first one because I think the second one was like the flashback.
Shit
yeah.
And the second one.
I think that's what it was, but yo, he was in Taxi Driver, man. Jeez.
See, I've never seen that.
Oof.
Or Raging Bull. Or
I haven't seen Raging Bull, and I'm embarrassed to say that too. He's
Ronin.
Oh, dude.
Never seen that.
That's a great movie. Or Ronin, I think. Do you know it's named after Japanese samurais?
You call it Ronin, whatever you want to call it. I have not seen it yet.
Dude, you already busted out 2 accents that beat any of my accents, including Pakistan guy.
I talk in accents all the time around the house because I cannot stand my voice. Which once I hear the podcast and be like, fuck.
No, man, I mix your voice to sound like a superstar, dude.
What's that?
I'm gonna mix your voice so you sound like Morgan Freeman mixed with, Helen Hunt.
Helen Fanny?
Oh, Hanny. Helen Hanny.
Helen Hanny. Yeah.
Get it? Every.
Are
those pink headphones?
They're pink. They are.
All right.
They belong to my girlfriend.
Okay.
Just because I'm wearing pink headphones doesn't mean I'm a cigarette.
Why don't I know what you're talking about? What are you talking about?
We were just talking about Helen Fanny.
What's a pink cigarette? Pink ear?
Fanny means cunt. And a cigarette in Europe is a fag.
Yeah?
So I was like, just because I'm wearing pink headphones
doesn't mean
I'm a cigarette.
Oh!
I got to work on my delivery.
No. It's just my fault.
Because I'm not using an accent.
It's my fault. No, dude, that's totally my fault.
I did watch that Alex Jones video that you posted. He was on Piers Morgan.
Yo, dude.
I've never seen him so worked up before. And I've seen him work.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. But here's the thing, man. he goes through the TSA, which he hate. Listen, I have a problem when I go through the TSA, right? But I try to use art instead of direct verbal confrontation as much as I can to convey messages, because art's more timeless. Maybe art's just a format that's permanent. Like I can tell you an idea. I can tell you an idea, and it could permeate through you, and it could be the most permanent thing that I've ever instilled in you. However, when you create and you manifest something physically, obviously, then you're going to be able to, hopefully, potentially, and most of the time, I'd say the majority of the time, reach more people with it. You know what I mean? Alex Jones, like on something like that, he's going through the TSA, and they weren't making people take off their shoes or something, right? So he's like, you think you're going to get me to take off my shoes when all these other people on the other line didn't have to do it, but we do, or something like that. So whatever it was, I don't know if he's in the right. I don't know enough about that. He's already apparently like pissed off his buddies or his crew. Rob Dew is uploading video or photos of him basically like getting harassed. So he's already pissed off. He goes to CNN, and every time he's on CNN, they, of course, are like, here's the goofball for the other opinion, because if we're going to have anyone on that's really strong in this opinion with the major media market, which he has, alternative media market via the internet and radio stations and stuff. And so they get him on, and then basically, are belittling him. But the prelude to this was he had all these guests on since the last shooting event that were just completely verbally sucking his dick. And that's how it always goes. So that's Class A, right, on the Piers Morgan show.
Morgan's dick is what you're saying?
Totally. So
okay.
Then he's got people on like Larry Pratt of Gun Owners of America, which is, if you ask me, better than the NRA because they're more constitutional, and the NRA has supported like assault weapons bans and all this stuff, which has nothing to do with the ideology, but only the political manifestation, which is encroaching statism, which is when people get more technologically advanced, the state can grow, and then it can be a whole cycle again. But so you got a guy like Gun Owners of America's Larry Pratt on, if you Google it, totally a cool dude on this program. And Piers Morgan, like, I've never seen him this bad, and he's always bad. And he called him an idiot.
Bad before, and it was in one of the Bond movies. I forgot which one it was. Yeah, I don't remember which one.
What happened with him?
Well, I've seen Piers Morgan bad, and it was in a Bond movie. I forgot which one. He did like 4 or 5, I think, right? He played Bond, didn't he?
Which one does he look like to you? Roger Moore?
Piers Morgan?
Does he look like Roger Moore or something? He kind of does.
Who's Roger Moore?
The best James Bond ever, because he was the least athletic and most charming.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I used to have the box set. Sean Connery.
Yo, so Piers Morgan, what are you talking about, though? Which one?
I was just kidding, because isn't his name Piers, and you keep calling him Pierce? Like Paul Pierce and shit. Pierce my ears.
Well, yeah, his name's Piers with a I-E-R-S, but I'm just going to say it a little more harshly with my consonants, because I'm a fucking rapper, dude. I'm going to consonant the shit out of this shit.
You're going to John Gruden that shit?
So, hold on real quick, man. The Bond... Did you think that joking. One looked like... What's a Bond thing, man? You brought that up.
Was this Pierce? One of the Bonds, his name was Pierce.
Oh, another time. See, you're right. I'm
you're
slow.
Supposed to be like, no, that's a different Pierce.
Pierce Brosnan. Yo, Pierce Brosnan... My uncles flew his plane up to Canada, and him and my aunt were like vacationing in this place or something, and then he was drinking at the bar for like an hour with Pierce Brosnan, like didn't even know it was him, and then they were like, "Whoa, man, you're a cool dude. Like, I'll see you later." And then he was leaving, and my aunt came down, and she's like, "Oh my God, did you talk to him?" And he's like, "What? Who? That dude or whatever?" And she's like, "Yeah, you know who that is?" He had no idea, and he just like hung out with Pierce Brosnan up at this like little log home hotel, something up in the middle of wherever. It's like Vancouver Island, I think. People vacation there. But then Pierce Brosnan, after Goldeneye, had like a BMW car, and my dad's from northern Idaho, and the town by where he's from I think it's Wallace, Idaho, on Highway 90. It's up in the mountains, one of the most beautiful places I've ever been on Earth. And that's where they filmed Dante's Peak. And he got like 3 speeding tickets because he was driving that Beamer that Bond drove in the movies. He had one, and so he just drove it around while he wasn't filming, and he was going like 100 miles an hour in it all the time in that area. And they took the town of Wallace and they just like superimposed, CGI'd the volcano, which is the most unrealistic volcano activity. I'm going to Hawaii in a couple days, dude, and freaking when I was 12 years old, actually, I'm guessing, but I went twice. I was like 10 and 12, let's say. I went to Hawaii. And the first time, the lava, you could walk right up to it on Kilauea because it was active. And then what I heard is, because the second time you could only get like a mile away. And what I heard is that, my dad heard or something, was that some reporter lady basically walked off the freaking cliff at night because she couldn't, she's going over there to check it out or something. Walked right off a cliff because all the lava flow is kind of by the ocean there or something. And
Fiscal cliff.
Yeah, she walked up the Fiscal Cliff. And then basically they shut it down. But when I was there, dude, someone picked up like a pepper plant or this plant, and it was like 20 people in the park ranger out there. And this dude like threw a plant, and before it hit the lava, it was already on flames, dude. Because you'd be like 5-8 feet away.
Wow. And
it was so hot at that point that you couldn't even get closer. And some dude like stuck out his shoe and was like, oh my God, the bottom of my shoe is melting.
Liquid hot magma.
Yeah, dude, it's wild. So I don't know if it's still active, but that's where I'll be in a couple of days. The Big Island, man, where the volcano's at. So I don't know.
Why are you going to Hawaii?
Family vacation for a little while. My family's there right now, but I'm only going for like half the trip. Save some vacation. So
that's like an 8-hour flight.
Yeah, 8 hours from like Cali.
Yeah, well,
I think
that's the only place in the world that matters, right?
That's true. Ask Strachology.
Yeah. Fuck Cali.
Yeah, Cali's cool. Like when I was out there, yeah. Did Strach tell you about the dude that was pissing on the side of the car? Yeah, Taji, my friend out there, she was driving, and she's got a new fucking whatever it is. I'm not good with
BMW.
Yeah, but whatever that type is. And so she's like, oh my God, like I take you everywhere. And we're like, Jesus Christ, like you couldn't ask for a better scenario. It'd be impossible. Our friend, it's going to be 3 of us. We're just going to chill and we're going to go everywhere. And she'd be happy to take us. And that's exactly how it worked out. And so we're like downtown LA, like Chinatown or whatever it is. And it looks pretty cool because there's all these like cheap, come in here, $1 t-shirt, and literally, it's like $1. They were advertising like $1 sandals or something, or $5 sandals, whatever. But everything in LA is expensive except for downtown there.
So wait, you were in Chinatown?
LA. I was in Chinatown, New York, too, and I got a video of that on YouTube.
Yeah, that fruit.
The durian.
Ice cream fruit.
But yeah, it was good shit. But real quick, like we're take a left out of there. We drive kind of like west to east or whatever. I don't even know. I'm discombobulated now. But the main drag through Chinatown, we take a left, go back towards downtown, and get out of downtown. And we hit this stoplight. And imagine we're on a one-way, like a 4-lane one-way, and we're in the left lane, okay, at a red light in a 4-lane one-way. Mm-hmm. And we're in the left lane, and I'm shotgun, Taji's driving, and Strach's backseat left. The sidewalk is outside of Strach's window, and there's this like dude who looks like Flava Flav if he was like 6.5 feet tall. And his dick is out.
So he's a black guy.
Oh, yeah. And there's people walking, and it's like 2 p.m. And he starts pissing like parallel to the sidewalk. So he's not pissing on the car, but his wiener is directly in Strach's face. And all I hear is Strach going, oh, or whatever. And so we're like, what the hell is going on? And Taji's looking back, and then I look back like over my left shoulder, and Strach is just like, holy fucking shit. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I try to get the camera out. And so it was too quick because Taji started screaming and the light turned green. And I was hopefully going to get a picture of Strach looking at a homeless tall black dude's penis while pissing, which probably would have been like on YouTube, or not YouTube, but like just like Google Images or anything. I could have probably found like a website like Deadspin and been like, yo, you would have never seen this crazy picture anywhere ever of all time. Because it's candid. It's not like it's staged.
Right.
Just some cracked out dude, man. It was epic. And so Strack, I don't know if he's going to like tell anybody that story, but it was, literally, 14, 16 inches from his head.
Oh, I thought you meant the guy's penis.
So yeah, dude, that's LA. That's all I remember.
Funny story.
That's all I remember about LA. Yeah.
In Pomona, which is East Los Angeles. I lived there for like 7 months back in 04, 05. Never once did I make it downtown LA. So I have no idea what downtown LA is like.
Yeah, man.
Santa Monica, Malibu.
Why?
Long Beach, all that stuff. I don't know. I just never did. I didn't drink while I was out there or anything. So
you must have been dehydrated.
I was a little bit, but
you must have took Epsom salts baths or something.
Zombies.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so I don't know, but that's the story. They should send Piers Morgan back to England, and LA is full of crazy people. San Diego was cool, but...
San Diego's tight. It's cleaner. It's not so big. It's not so crazy.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful weather.
Yeah. Although it was cloudy and rainy every day I was there. And
that's fine. It's still beautiful.
Well, I was going to say, it was one of those things like Strack's like, dude, you brought the the negativity with you or something, because, it wasn't very good.
Have you ever been to San Francisco?
0 for 0, man. I'd love to.
Man.
It's on my list. San Francisco, Austin, and D.C. in the United States.
I lived in D.C., been to San Francisco.
But see, D.C., like, I'd meet up with Kokesh, hopefully, whatever he's doing. Like, they're doing some event for Obama's inauguration. There's a Facebook event, too. It's called, like, the Disinauguration. And what I heard is, like, they're trying to get me to be one of these people, and it was like each train station or something like that, during that day, they're going to have a person with a megaphone or like a cone, like leading a group of people at each station. So like all over the city. And they're going to be like basically yelling and announcing and protest, like have signs and announcing, like, I don't know. That's where I should read up a little bit more, because I don't want to say it's because he's a war criminal or something like that. And then maybe that's not the right angle. But that's basically the gist of what's going on out there. So like DC for me, there's like stuff that I can do because the people I know in DC that are promoting certain things that I'd like to be a part of sometimes. So it seems like it'd be a cool city for me rather than staying in a hotel and like taking tours or something like that. Right. But I'm not against like doing whatever out there, like a couple touristy things or whatever, but
I was actually supposed to go to my reunion out there just this past July. But, me getting out of the house doesn't really work out too well.
Yeah, man, that's something that I'm sure I'm looking forward to seeing you do, because I know you're going to start playing like slow pitch softball.
Oh, Steve Smith been talking to you, huh?
Is that what he's trying to get you to do or what?
Yeah, well, he asked me last summer, and it was just too much going on around the house and stuff, just getting settled in. But
what about ice bocce? Because I got a team. Well, I don't really have the team yet. I've done that the last like 3 years, dude. You know anything about that?
About slow pitch softball?
No, ice bocce.
What the fuck is that?
You know what bocce is? The game.
Ball?
Bocce. It means ball or something in Italian. I don't know, but yeah, bocce ball. But bocce, the game.
Italiano.
The game can be played on multiple surfaces, and in Park Tavern in Newport or whatever they have like 4. Type in Mage Eat Carrion sometime. In the beginning is a scene from the ice bocce, and they play on ice, and it's super, like, you have to, like, I just got the invite and I forgot to reply, and then they texted me and they're like, yo, you want a team or not? And I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. But they basically, they fill up and damn. They basically start right away and they don't finish. Like the last teams get done at like midnight sometimes, dude. It's like an all-day thing. And it can get really competitive, and it's just it's absolute blast. And I swear to God, every year I do it, it's like either snowing and wet, or it's like 0 degrees. It's never been like 25 and sunny that I remember. Could be wrong. Could be just my memory. But it's a blast, dude. It's a Saturday, I think. So I don't know if you can, like, you know, in your life, schedule a Saturday, you know. Like maybe you could contact the people that you owe labor responsibilities to, employers, family, all that kind of stuff.
All right. You know,
I'll give you the date of this Saturday.
The act of doing things and being around people is not the problem. It's the act of leaving the house.
Yeah, but
it drains me.
Yeah, but I could give two shits about that, dude.
I know you don't care.
No, I could give a fuck about that. You got to like tell me what you think about Ice Bocce. That's all I want to hear.
We're talking about me right now.
Well, that's true. What else about, like, what is it? Like, all right, let me engage that point then, because it is about you. And when I used to come to Bandy's apartment in St. Cloud, he would open in the winter his sliding door because he'd be laying on the couch from the time he woke up to the time he had to do money-making responsibility of some sort. So he was on the second floor, so I'd like text him. I'd be like, here, call him. And then he'd be like, all right. And then he'd open his balcony and he would look it down and he would throw the keys down from the second floor. And you'd have to like catch his wild 40 janitor's keys in your mitts. And then you have to let yourself in. And I always forgot his apartment number, so I'd have to like text him again. And then I'd walk in and he'd be like under a blanket on the couch still. And then he'd like raise a peace sign and be like, what up? And then I'd make him like a 2-hour pork faux lime cilantro stew that I made up. So that's the story. It's a little different these days, but you still don't want to leave the house. At least you're sitting upright. So
I have more of an excuse now, but
that's true. To sit upright?
Yeah. No, it's literally any free time I have, which is very limited.
Yeah.
Like I have to clean or do something else.
I should do the cleaning thing, man. I should do more of that. But yeah. Not at your house, at mine.
Right.
I shall clean your house. So you got that 1.8 f-stop lens for your Canon, right?
Yeah, the prime lens, man.
I just got one of those. I just got one of those. I love it. I mean, it's
so tight.
It's just so it's the least versatile lens I have by far. However,
yeah, but if you get the right distance, man, the picture that thing takes.
Oh, it's great. It's totally
phenomenal.
Great. Man, I got Daryl from St. Cloud. You hear that track?
No, you sent it to me. I didn't listen to it yet.
Okay. Well, anyways, we're working on it right now, and I took like just one picture of him when he was like spitting the verse because I was producing that here yesterday, and I've been mixing it and stuff. And so I took this picture of him when he was on the mic, or maybe like looking down before he started rapping or something. And it's with the f1.8, lens.
Right.
So the focal distance is like extreme, the depth of field and everything. And so the mic is like crystal clear, and then his face and everything is kind of looking down is like super blurry. But the color from his shirt, his face, hat, whatever, it's like comes in. And the mic's it's gray and black with the black mic filter. So I don't know, man. I thought it was pretty cool. Like I'm gonna have to edit a little more, crop it a little more or something. But I'm pretty happy with the picture. And I just got that lens. It was an impulse buy on Christmas Day. I was just on my phone on Amazon, and I've always looked at that lens. And what's it, like $150 or something, or $140?
Yeah, you must have got the same one we got then, right?
I'm assuming it's the exact same one. Yeah,
because ours was around that price.
Yep.
Now it's a plastic lens.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So
super
I can't
light.
Even imagine what the glass.
Oh, absolutely. But it's like for a lens that's not even that versatile. It'd be interesting to see what the glass or like the harder, the composite or whatever it is, how much better the pictures would be for like our type of camera, or if it'd be the same. Like I don't know, because the plastic is so light. So like Luke Radowski of We Are Change, you know who that is? That Luke, he does all those political videos and stuff.
Nah, man.
He runs around with a 60D with the f1.8, like a small one like that. And a lot of people hate on him because it's the depth of field. Like, he'll be interviewing someone and the dude's button on his jacket will be crystal clear and his face will be blurry. Yeah. But it's super artistic, especially if you combat it with like, or combine it, I should say, with high quality audio. Then it's like really cool. So I don't know, man. Like, for certain uses, it's my favorite lens, and in certain uses, it's kind of inappropriate if you want to convey more of like a broad visual.
Which is the reason why you have multiple lenses.
Yeah, bro. I don't know what I'm going to bring when I go on this trip.
It's like a hunter. He's got multiple guns for different kinds of hunting.
That's true.
And one might be his favorite, but it might not be the most practical gun or the most versatile gun.
You're such an artist. I agree.
And my favorite vehicle of all time was my bus. Was it practical? No. Terrible gas mileage. Cops hated it. But
did you get pulled over?
Loved it.
Did you get pulled over?
I never did.
Who did on the bus or with the bus? Mo?
Coming back Fire Fest.
Mo got pulled over?
Yeah.
What did he do, or what was the story there?
Wasn't there. Have no idea.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why'd the bus transition from such an integral part of the network of people that we've had in our lives to something that was just a burden? Because after a couple years, it didn't seem like everyone stopped partying, but it seemed like the bus, I don't know.
Yeah, most of the people were graduating and leaving, and I don't know, people weren't going to come back to go right around the bus. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I suppose, but I don't know. You think that's what it was? I suppose that's what it was. I think sad reality.
Kind of ruined the luster.
When what?
When we painted it black, kind of ruined the...
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, it was practical. When we gutted it, it made it more practical.
Yeah.
But that Wii Fest in 09, when it was blue and Joe Ever painted it, just everyone flocked to it. It was awesome.
Yo, the best part of anything though was when you had Novak face on the bus, your face on the bus. We'd be at like Wii Fest, 100 people just clowning, hammered, drunk, music playing, and then someone would come up and be like, "Yo, whose bus is that, man?" That was my favorite part about that bus, was when the stranger that was hammered asked you whose bus it was. And then you'd point at the bus. And then there would be two white stencil faces on a solid black matte spray painted bus. And then some drunk fucker would stare at each face and be like, whoa. And then they'd look around and then they'd see your faces in the crowd and then like know that it was your bus. And it was the most caveman partying ingenious idea of all time, and it's definitely one of my favorite things was that bus, for sure.
Great times.
And who has a bus now?
No one I know.
I mean, who sold it eventually?
We sold it to some dude in Nebraska.
Oh my god.
Well, Novak sold it because I didn't make it up to St. Cloud to sell it. So.
Because what were you doing?
I don't know. Chilling. None, man. Just
you're working on your boat?
It's working on my shaft.
Yeah, but I believe that
fixed. You know, that 170 horsepower in 1986.
That's true.
Ronin.
That's true. Oh my god.
Lock and dam.
Yeah, dude. So what do you think before we head out of here? What do you think about Perp, man? We got to get Perp on one of these things. He's the dude who likes podcasts, and he never really wants to come down and do some stuff. You got to pressure him.
Here's the thing with Perp. You got to get him at the right time, and it will be the most amazing podcast of all time.
Are you talking about when he's hammered or what?
Yes. Well, not when he's hammered. Yeah, actually, when he's not hammered, but pretty drunk at the end of the night, and if he's just a little bit annoyed.
Yeah.
And you got to do it at DB's. So if there's other people that he works with that are out drinking.
I got footage of them.
Girls and shit.
I got footage of them.
Perfect time. And you would get so much comedy in your podcast.
Yo, that's the thing with Perp though is.
But it would be awesome.
To me, his comedy has nothing to do with like I'm in a place and he's like yelling or doing some crazy shit. But Perp's comedy is about like the interaction. You know what I mean? Like I have some laughs with Perp. He's a funny ass dude. And he's like not shy about a lot of stuff, but then you get like the camera around him too and stuff. And he gets like a little kid and it's so funny because it's the opposite of Strack, because Strack turns into Tom Cruise or something, you know? Like with around a camera, Strack just flexes and he holds that flex for like 8 hours and he doesn't let that flex go. And then Perp is just like starts giggling. He's like psst, puts his hand up and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. If you catch him at the right time.
Yep. Well, I'm not talking about. I'm just giving an example of his.
It'll be art.
Well, that's true. I wonder what he. I wonder what he's thinking about these days. I just saw him like a week ago. Had a great time.
New Year's.
No, I saw him Friday night, so like less than a week ago. We were up there. Do you know about that?
Actually,
do you see that freestyle? Did you see the freestyle of that dude on my channel? You didn't see that because you got responsibilities in actual life. You would laugh your ass off, dude. We don't even remember it. Like we were gone, but I filmed this dude freestyling upstairs at the press.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It's like one of the funniest things of all time.
Is that the guy is like after this and this, after this and this, and that's
all yeah, dude. Well, that wasn't all he was saying because he made about I bet he made around 15 rhymes. You know?
Yeah.
I bet he made around 10 to 15 rhymes, legitimate rhymes in his freestyle. So like even if it was shit, I was laughing because I was gone, and then Derek doesn't even remember being in the video, doesn't even remember being at the press, I don't think. And then basically this dude was hilarious and I was just egging him on because he was so funny. And then you got Daryl in the video, who I'm just producing this track with, and he's just like bumping his head, like just trying to just be cool with this dude, and then he's like trying not to laugh half the time. And then this dude pops in the video who must have been friends with the rapper, and he's like, "This is an embarrassment to Chicago, man." Because the dude was like, "I'm from Chicago." You know? And so, I don't know. To me, I was going through my videos, and I was laughing so hard, and I never wanted to make that a video of mine. I didn't want it on my channel the first time I watched it, because I was like, why would I put that up? But then I watched it a second time.
I'm from Chicago. Like that's supposed to be something I'm supposed to admire.
Yo, now it scares me when people do fucking.
In the world,
I agree, dude. It fucking scares me because since when did the Midwest, anywhere in the Midwest, become something where? Okay, they're the biggest city in the Midwest, right? By far.
Right.
So besides that, I can't think of anything else where you're gonna quantifiably be like badass about it. But the only thing I can think of is like, say I went to Sioux Falls and lived there for forever, you know, whatever, knock on wood.
Okay.
And then after a while, I'm drunk freestyling the Sioux Falls press upstairs. And I've been living in fucking Sioux Falls. And so I'm like, dude, this town thinks it's cool. I've met everyone in this town that fronts and thinks they're cool. But I'm from Minneapolis, which is like 4,000 times better. And I'm going to like ooze that out my pores. I'm going to permeate this and radiate it. And so basically I'm going to start being cocky about it because I've been living in Sioux Falls. Now, maybe that's not me, but maybe it would be. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you grew up in Chicago. You go to St. Cloud. And then the only thing that you're hanging on to is the fact that like, wow, I still have this something in me because I was different because I wasn't from St. Cloud. And so I got to like express it. Like where does it come from besides being the biggest city in the Midwest? I don't know.
If I may interject.
Please do.
I understand exactly what you're saying, but, Minneapolis is a fucking cool city.
There you go. You're the Chicago dude now.
But I'm not from Minneapolis. I used to talk shit about the cities all the time.
That dude might not have been from Chicago. He might have been from... All right.
Chicago's a fucking dump. The reason why people move out of Chicago is because the place fucking sucks. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
And most of those people that move are probably on the run from something that they're scared of. So they come here and talk all kinds of shit. I don't give a fuck where you're from.
Yo,
I don't want to go to Chicago. I don't want to live in Chicago. Obviously, you don't want to live there either. Now, if you went to Sioux Falls, and we're talking about Minneapolis, obviously, Minneapolis is a pretty cool place. It's hip, it's artistic, it's music.
It's a lot more dangerous than Sioux Falls.
All that. So that's the difference. That's what I'm saying. Like, why do people always talk about Chicago? Like, it's something I'm supposed to respect.
It's because fucking Michael Jordan, bro.
Michael Jordan got the fuck out of Chicago as fast as he could.
Yeah, but they don't know that because they're still wearing Bulls jerseys.
Exactly. They're fucking stupid. Fuck Chicago.
Yo, for the record, T Mage has never said fuck Chicago, nor will he. So.
You ever been to Chicago?
I just had a conversation with Joe Walls about this shit 2 hours ago at the gym at LA Fitness. In Edina. It's the classiest LA Fitness of all time, man. Joe Walls works out there with me. And so we were talking about Chicago, and he's talking about having his birthday party there because he hasn't done any.
He's having his birthday party at LA Fitness?
Chicago, homie. Oh. Yo, yeah, he's having his birthday party at LA Fitness, man. No, Chicago, he's talking about some double-decker bus you can take for like $2 or $1, some deal. And then you drink on the bus, and everyone parties all the way there and back.
That's kind of cool.
And then all I know is, like, I know a lot of people that have moved out there, and they just love it, you know? I heard it's one of the coolest cities of all time. However, I will agree with, like, specific points that you made, especially the dangerousness.
It's like 10 homicides since the new year started.
Chicago, what was
13.
it? Was it the frickin' Aurora shooting the same weekend or night or whatever? And it's like 35 people got shot in Chicago. It's like the same number in the massacre, and that's where Obama's from. Just ignored it.
But what is it? I mean,
it's because it's one of the only three. It's because it's easy. It's so easy. It's one of the only 3 places that have like a total gun ban. It's D.C., Manhattan, and Chicago, or New York and Chicago, whatever. And so it's that easy, basically. It's like that's what's up, man. Violence goes up when you restrict peaceful people from defending themselves. It has nothing to do with guns. It just has to do with when you enact something that only peaceful people will enact because they're the only ones who follow voluntary law like that, which is a non-victim, non-crime. Murder is the crime. If there's no victim, like you own a tool, there's no victim. So it's not a crime. It's a regulation. You know, it's not a law, a legal crime. But they do pass these quote-unquote gun laws. And so in Chicago, people can't defend themselves. It's like in England. Like on this Alex Jones Piers Morgan thing, in England, man, like, and Australia is great. Go look at those statistics too, man. If you judge like something that's more objective, like home intrusions or home break-ins or whatever, right? The numbers of people that do it in England and Australia versus United States when people are home are like astronomically higher, like 10 or not 10 times, but like double, triple. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's because in the United States, there's tons of home break-ins, but like almost everyone tries to do it when no one's home. But what's the worst thing that can happen in England when you might have a gun, but the people that live there probably don't have guns? You know what I'm saying? And this summer, that old dude like had a guy break in his house in England, and he goes in his bedroom, locks the door. He had a gun, a quote-unquote, bunny ears quote, illegal gun, because they're not supposed to have them, but he had one in his bedroom because he didn't want to be a victim to a psycho, like any human being wants to do, is protect themselves in their own room, for God's sake. And so he ended up shooting this dude, and now he's like going to prison. And they interviewed like 6 of his neighbors on this. You can go find this on YouTube. It happened in like June, I want to say, or something this summer. And like every single neighbor is like, what do you expect me to say? Yeah, I agree with this guy. Like he ran to his room, locked the door, and then still in there. Like, don't come in with a gun. Dude did, and he shot him, you know? How stupid do you have to be to say that the dude cowering in the corner in his own abode is the criminal and not the victim? Like, what other kind of victims are there? You know, you have the financial victims and you have the physical victims. And if you're forced to do something financially by force, then you're a victim. If you're forced to do something physically, you're a victim. It's easy, man. So I don't know. So you look at Chicago, D.C., New York. Look at D.C., dude, how violent it is. Not only violent, but consistently violent. And then you look at how many guns are in D.C. There's a lot. They're all security.
When we were working in D.C., middle of the day, He had his truck parked on the street, busy ass street. Dirt bike was in the back of his truck, you know, strapped down and shit.
Yeah.
Got stolen in the middle of the day out of his truck on a busy street.
Damn.
My roommate got his Bronco jacked 2 times and then got it back both times. But his Bronco was stolen twice.
That's pretty wicked.
Out of our parking lot.
Broncos are tight. It's probably Mike Ilias who stole it.
That's the thing about this shit. Like, people talk about wanting to move to these cities, but you don't realize, like, you see the glitz and glamour of LA. You see, you know, the monuments and shit in DC. That's a facade. Underneath all that is shit. Homeless people, garbage, crime.
It's true. New York, cops, man.
All kinds of shit, dude. We live in the perfect place. Other than the weather, this state is the most amazing state I've been to. And I've been to a lot of states in the country. I've never been out of the country, so I can't comment on Europe.
Yep.
But in this country, we do live in the best place.
Yeah, I don't go that far, but I'd say it's near the top. I really didn't have that opinion until I lived abroad and then traveled further more abroad. But I know what you're saying, man. I agree with that point for sure. And, I mean, D.C., I was just going to make that point too. Like, there's a ton of people in D.C. with guns, and they're all hired to protect hobnobbers, you know?
They're all hired to protect people that say you can't have one, is what you're saying.
Dude, that's it. You couldn't have said it better, and I couldn't have said it a better way than what you just said it, because it's basically all the people with all the guns are still trying to take the guns away from the little guy, because all the people with all the guns, if you want to call it government, are responsible. As Alex Jones greatly snuck in his interview, democide is the greatest cause of death, unnatural death in the 20th century, bar none. And I'll sing that from the rooftops, man, because people want to quantify stuff. Oh, look at how many, there was 35 gun deaths in England. And they want to use these statistics that are subjective to several other factors instead of going, okay, what kills the average folk? And how do you measure that? And it's bar none democide. And then, of course, you have diseases, infectious diseases and stuff like that. And then, you know, whatever. And so you want to talk about basically being able to quantify that stuff. And then the people that are telling you not to do that and they're pumping this shit down your throat are the people with guns all around them. You know, they're like it's like the royal family, dude. It's like closer to serfdom than it's been, I'd say, in at least like 50 years, if not 80 years. That's what I would say. Since the Federal Reserve, I'd say it's been getting more and more and more like that.
The same hypocritical fucks that order people to go to war, that don't send anyone in their family to go serve or die or whatever the fuck. It's just like the same celebrities that, you know, say we have to stop driving all these SUVs and shit and they're flying around on private jets. It's that same hypocritical bullshit. I'm not arguing for this or for that. I'm just saying hypocritical bullshit doesn't work for me. And that's what pisses me off.
Yeah, it's true.
It makes me go insane.
Hey, when you were a Marine, like how many people that you knew had a silver spoon up their ass? And you were on the unit that, and first of all, maybe you want to talk about how you got on the unit you were on, or maybe you don't. But how many people, because maybe there was other units that had more different clientele, so by you generalizing your unit, maybe it wouldn't generalize, like, let's say the Marines. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to lead you in to be specific.
Most of the people around me came from middle class to mostly lower class.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would guess.
A lot of Hispanic, a lot of people from, like, the West Indies, El Salvador.
Yeah.
I had a few people from Haiti, a guy from Ghana. Like, I don't think people realize how many foreign people are in the military, at least the Marine Corps, from what I've seen. And they're coming from a poor place for a better life. And they're, you know, serving our country or whatnot for the money and the benefits and all that. But as far as people with a silver spoon up their ass, other than officers, I couldn't tell you one person. Not one. Yeah,
man. Yo, and that's something that's really interesting because, and I try to, since I didn't serve in any armed forces, man, I try not to generalize branches as much because I leave that to the dudes who had their own branch that they repped and still rep. And so to me, that's entertaining. But what's interesting to me is, like, for some reason, I always feel, not always, but usually feel, and it could be my subjective, but it could be, or it's like the Marines to me, I just have more Marines, and you're not supposed to ever call them, ex-Marines, but you know what I'm saying, like, not active Marines, you know what I'm saying, like,
right.
It just seems like the people, the older they are, and the more, if they served as a Marine rather than a different branch, and the older they are, the more I'm just, like, on the same page as them. And I can maybe think of a couple Marines, active or not, that maybe I don't see as much eye to eye. But I'd say you and I and a couple other people for sure, it's just wicked. But the last podcast I did was with an Army officer. He's 30, and so now a friend of mine. And we did that podcast. His name is Jake Duesenberg, and he's a smart-ass dude. And he was in Iraq and Kosovo. And, man, we think almost identical, but in the last podcast, he talks about, he grew up as a neocon, his patriotism. There's a lot that didn't get on that podcast that we talked about before and after, but he talks about patriotism being something where, yeah, he used to be under the mindset of patriotism supporting your government, which has nothing. Yeah, you too, I guess. Nothing to do with patriotism. That has nothing to do with it. Supporting your government has never been patriotic, and it never will be. You're supporting the government system that is there in place to, under your ideal, if you need a state, to protect rights. That's patriotic. But supporting something that your government tells you to do just because they told you to do it is what I'm getting at. And that's not patriotic, Liberty, that's the only thing that's patriotic. Supporting a system that protects liberty and fighting for liberty forever. And so basically when you see your army destroying stuff or your military destroying stuff, and I'm not saying that's all it does. Don't say that's what I said there. But I'm just saying these people that were in service in Kosovo and in Iraq, like Jake was talking about, and now he can objectively criticize it and analyze it, and he's a better man for doing it, and he's a better man for trying to level with people about it and what he's learned through the process of growing older and seeing what he did and now what he thinks about that, and who was he serving, what did he do, and stuff like that. And for me, that's the type of people I need to talk to, are the people that are doing that stuff now as much as I can. And that's going to get harder as I get older. But it's also the people who've learned the lessons from doing that hard shit that I didn't do. So what makes me mad are people that have opinion. They're too big for their britches on their opinions is the best way to say it, man. I know a lot of people that are opinionated as me or more, and if they're not willing to sit there and just pull shit out of their pocket, people they know, where they got this opinion or what facts or ideologies are deriving this opinion from, it just pisses me off, man. Just because you have the opinion doesn't mean you should be people should be warranted to listen to it. It's the way you describe it and the way that you portray it to other people, and then give them tidbits where they can experience it themselves, whether it's studying it or whether it's like, yo, check out this person, see what they're like. It's crazy. It's crazy that I'm going to look back at today, 5 or 10 years from now, and be like, I was fucking ignorant, stupid. Because I look back at myself 5 years ago and 10 years ago, and that's what I think. And so I think knowing that makes you the more humble person, in my opinion, is when you know.
I look at myself in the mirror every morning, and I say that.
Every morning? Is that big of a difference? Then I go eat good for you.
Oatmeal and eggs and shit. And then I'm like, yeah, fat. What are you going to do about it? Nothing.
Are you still fat, dude?
Yeah, I'm disgusting.
Oh, really? Still?
Yeah.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Complacent, man.
Do you do these two curls for the girls?
I do curls.
Curl your son in one arm and his stuff in the other arm or something?
My fucking knees are so fucked. I don't know.
That just sounded like an NFL running back crying or something.
Yeah, except I don't have NFL running back money.
Why'd your knees go out? What happened to you?
I don't know, dude.
Ice skating?
We better wrap this up, man. I got to get up at 3.
I know. I was going to get off. Well, quick story, man. I didn't even know we were going to podcast tonight, but this has been the first time that you've been available to do this, so hopefully the quality came out decent, But I say that there's a chance Strack's coming down tomorrow, I think, right?
I don't know. You didn't talk to me.
Oh, man. Since when?
Sunday.
Oh, I talked to him this afternoon, like 1. So what are you doing tomorrow? Anything?
I have class till 5:45.
Okay.
So.
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna let you two sort it out. And then,
no, dude, just tell me what's going on, and I'll decide if I can make it or not.
Well, you can't make it. It's gonna be. Nah, we'll figure some shit out, bro. All right, well, yeah.
Sign off on this shit. I don't want to be like, we should get going or whatever.
Oh, you're funny. No, I don't. Dude, you're talking to the dude who just says, "What's up, Mage podcast" at the beginning. And at the end, that's kind of what I do, too. But actually, sometimes it's like, my stupid rant. Sometimes I end it on a rant or something. But let's just say this, man. We got Burt Bandi here, Mage podcast, January 8th, 2013. As the people listen, I'm going to have Bandi on a lot more. He's a deep fella, and he's got a lot of good stories. And he... I don't know, man. I think that he has shaped my perspective on this world in a funny way. I mean, this dude would claim that he would never leave the country for almost all the years I've known him. And I don't know what you think now, dude, but I know you were like, I just never will, ever, ever, ever. But I think eventually, like, you're going to just have to, You're probably going to want to take your son somewhere, I'm thinking, too,
Honestly, I think I want to go to Nigeria.
Yeah, but you can take your kid there the first time you travel abroad? I mean, yeah. You could. Dude, there's probably someone in even in the South Metro where we live that you could find somewhere with technology where they would be like, shit, it'd be easy to take your kid to Nigeria. And I don't know much about, like, sicknesses. I just know you're supposed to get vaccinated. But, like, I was thinking you should take your kid to, like, somewhere in Europe or Asia, maybe.
North Korea?
Purper's buddy went to North Korea with his dad as tourists. How crazy is that?
You can get in there?
Yo, he's on his Facebook. He's at the DMZ looking south towards South Korea with these North Koreans, and it's all like this propaganda. Like the Americans installed this gun turret there to keep us down, and like it's nuts, dude. It's nuts. But yeah, you can go there, I guess.
Huh.
But anyways, yeah, we'll get out of here. But yeah, I don't know. We'll talk. We'll get Strack on. Strack's in town for a couple more days, and yeah, I don't know, man. Why don't you pay attention to something that I don't pay attention to? What don't I pay attention to? You gotta pay attention to, I don't know. You watch TV or no?
Just like Showtime and on-demand shit, because I fucking hate commercials.
Yeah, that's why you should watch soccer and not NFL. That goes out to Strack.
I don't think so.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we'll get out of here.
It's been fun.
It's been a good time. We'll talk to you soon. And, yeah, man. Tell little Bandi, Magnus Bandi, he's a good little kid there. And we're going to take him to Spain.
All right, man.
Mage podcast, signing off. Peace.